Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Can you believe Q1 is over? I can't either, but I just have to tell you, thank you for listening and sharing our podcast for the first quarter of this year. It has been fantastic. I've loved every guest that has sat in this chair, and you're going to love our guest today, so I can't wait to introduce her to you. But first, I want to thank our podcast sponsors. Without you, we couldn't share the great stories of West Texans. So a big thank you to Rig ID Workwear, Omni Midland Hotel, to Midland Cap Company, to the Preserve at Midland, to Thin FR, to Midland, did I say Midland Cap Company? If not, we'll say it again, Midland Cap Company, and also to joincapclub.com. Remember, support local, those businesses if you can, but any businesses that are local. That local is where it's at. When we're supporting our friends that own businesses, we're supporting their families and paying for soccer and for baseball and for all the good things that they do in their lives. So that's what we're all about here, is supporting local. Speaking of local, we have an amazing guest with us today. I can't wait to share her story and share this topic, because if you are a woman and you are ages, let's go 30 to 100. This is for you. This topic is for you. Joining us today is my friend, Kara Cochran. She is a wife and mom first. She is also the office manager for Evangelion Medical. Did I say it correct?
Evangelion.
Evangelion Medical. Thank you so much for being with us today,
Thank you.
Kara.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so excited. For many years, you've been the office manager for your husband's practice, Dr. Doug Cochran at Family
Since
Practice.
2014 officially.
Yes.
So 12 years.
And now you have rebranded with your new medical. So tell us again the name one more time.
So it's Evangelion Medical, which means evangelize, evangelical. That stems from the word good, the good news.
I love it. And that's what we're sharing today.
Yes, good news. Yes.
Kara, thanks so much for coming on. And
this is a topic I'm very passionate about. Women need to know.
They do. And we're going to talk all the things today. So, and guys, you should know this too. You should be listening as well. So we don't want the guys to right now go click. We want you to listen because it's good to understand.
Some good information, maybe some pointers.
Yes, maybe some pointers. So let's start at the beginning. First of all, Kara, I always like to know how people got to West Texas.
Okay, so I was born in Amarillo.
Okay.
And I grew up in a little town called Stratford, which is in the north, almost in Oklahoma.
Okay.
So like 15 miles from Oklahoma. So I'm still a Texan.
Yes.
But
just
barely. And small town. My mom and dad were both teachers. My dad was a coach. So sports and being active has been a huge part of my life from the beginning. I don't remember the first time I picked up a basketball, and I played basketball and played golf and ran track and ran cross country and was a cheerleader. In a small town, you kind of do all the things.
It all.
Yeah, I played golf. I forgot
Love
that.
it.
I played golf.
That's great.
And so I, being in a small town, I like to say I probably didn't have a ton of competition, but I did. I was valedictorian of my class. And
That's awesome.
So in the state of Texas, if you're a valedictorian, they pay for your first year in a state school in Texas, like your tuition and fees. So I said, I'm going to go to a state school in Texas. That's a lot of money, you know?
Yeah.
So my sister was at Texas Tech. She's 2 years older than I am. And so I just said, I'm going to go to Texas Tech. I really didn't look anywhere. I didn't look at Texas A&M. I didn't look at any of the smaller schools. I just said, This is where I'm going. And so
I love it.
I chose Lubbock, and I got my degree there at Tech. I kind of have an interesting personal story as well. So I got pregnant at 19 and got married and then had my first child. I turned 20 like 18 days later. So I was a young mom finishing school. So I once I didn't stop, I stayed in college the whole time.
Good for you.
And I kind of just put my head down and said, hey, I got to get this done at this point. So I graduated in 3.5 years just to get out, right? And I was married. We got married. And so I was married to another 20-year-old, and we had this little baby, and life was hard. You know, I look back and wonder sometimes how I did it, because I was going to school at night and taking care of a kid and taking care of another 20-year-old kid, and he would say the same thing now. we're actually, we laugh about it, but it was a rough experience. But at that point, it's like I just need to finish, and so I got a degree in business management, and so that's kind of where I started. And I actually managed a urology practice in Lubbock. At the time, it was called Cornerstone Urology.
Okay.
And I actually started working there like when I was maybe spring semester of my freshman year. I was a receptionist, and then they soon realized I was pretty intelligent, so I became the CFO like before I graduated. Then once I graduated, I was a practice manager. So I was a practice manager of a pretty large urology business
at a young age.
I was like 21.
Yeah.
And I did that for a few years, and then I kept seeing the pharmaceutical reps come through and thought, man, that looks really fun. Because I love people and love talking. I'm a numbers girl, and I will dig into numbers all day long. But actually,
you're a people person.
I'm a people person. And so I became a drug rep in 2007. And I worked for a company called Boehringer Ingelheim, which is a privately family-owned German company, for 7 years. Mm-hmm. Until at that point, Doug and I had gotten married in 2011, and I had lived in Lubbock until we married, and I moved down here.
Okay.
So I stayed in Lubbock and managed that practice up until when my husband and I got married. That's probably kind of confusing. I went through a divorce.
It happens.
Yes, went
exactly.
through a divorce,
yes.
And it's a big defining moment, and those were some dark times in my world, and had another baby before the divorce. So I have 2 older kids, one that's 23, and another one will be 20 in June. So she's 19.
And I know your 23-year-old. He is amazing.
He's precious.
He's so precious.
He's the
he
greatest.
really is. I mean, talk about a boy full of joy and energy and ambition and all the things.
Yes, I'm proud of him.
Yes.
I'm very proud. He actually graduates May 9th, next month. Very beginning from Texas A&M.
I was going to say, so for you Red Raider fans, sorry, we're going to switch gears here a little bit. He's an Aggie.
He's an Aggie. I never thought I'd have an Aggie, but I have an Aggie. And he did the what they call it, it was called 150 program at Texas Tech. I don't know what it's called at Texas A&M, but it's where he gets his master's in 5 years.
Fantastic.
So,
good for him.
So he didn't graduate with his undergrad at 4 years. He graduates this year with his master's and undergrad.
Fantastic.
And he's doing that in accounting, and so he's actually working and taking a CPA exam as well right now. So he passed the first part. So
Yay!
Proud. I don't think that it's a pretty difficult exam is what I've heard.
It is. That's what I've heard too. I'm not a numbers girl.
But so super proud of him. He's the greatest. But so I have him, and then I have Carly also, and she graduated from Midland Classical Academy a couple of years ago. She's in her sophomore year, and she goes to Colorado State.
Oh, fantastic.
Because she basically said, I'm getting out of West Texas. I want to go somewhere where there's water and a view and mountains.
Right.
And I don't.
And so she got it.
And she did. and I don't argue. I like to go visit her.
Right.
It's like
the beautiful place.
You vacation every day. This is great. So,
but mark your words, she'll probably come back. That's what these kids say.
They say they won't.
I'll never go back, but guess what? They come back, and they realize how amazing West Texas is.
West Texas is.
Sometimes you got to go see those mountains and water.
Yes, and then come back. So
that's what brought you back here. Then you got.
So I was stayed in Lubbock and came to Midland when I married my current husband.
Yeah.
And we've been married. August will be 15 years. And so. He's a physician in the area.
Yes.
Obviously, he was born and raised here in Midland, went to Lee High School, and so he wasn't moving anywhere.
Right.
So I had to move. I'm moving to Midland.
Well,
and
I'm glad you did.
I was a little sad to begin with, just being honest. It's a different town.
And I'm glad you said that, because it's okay. It's okay but here's the thing, if you're here 100 days, you will not want to leave. It's either 100 days or a year. I can't remember which one I hear more. But once you
find your people,
and you find your people, and you find you plug into the community. So that's I'm glad you said that, because it is good for those that are new to the area to hear this.
Just keep at it.
Keep at it. Because I felt the same way 28 years ago when I moved here. I was just like, where am I? And what am I doing? And what is your plan, God?
Exactly.
And now I'm so grateful, that this is where he wanted me to be, and you too will feel that way. Just give yourself 100 days or a
little bit of time. No, I tell it. Because I was working, I really didn't feel like I had a lot of time to join certain organizations that are pretty time consuming.
So it's hard to meet people if you're
It's hard to
working
meet
full-time.
people. And
so what'd you do?
so being out in medical practices, I met quite a few people, but really where I connected was at our church.
Yes.
And so I met a lot of women through that area, but I would say just get involved in something.
Yes,
right?
I think
Because
that's important.
that's when you are out there and about and volunteering and obviously I like to talk, or I wouldn't even be on this. But
and
you get
I
to know
love
a lot of people
who love to talk.
But,
so you're at the right place.
At the
Kara.
right place, yeah. But
let's talk how medical has changed so much through the years.
It's changed significantly.
And Kara reached out to me recently, and she was like, "This is a good topic, and it's something that my husband and I are both passionate about." As I told a young person recently, once you get to 50, or even getting close to 50, or I mean, it could be when you're going through the change of life, you start to think of your health differently.
It's a game changer. We always say muscle is your currency in aging.
Okay.
So as you age,
yes,
it's really important to have muscle.
Yes.
And
you probably didn't think about it when you're young. All you youngins, 30 and younger, you just have that muscle. It's just already there. As long as you're working out or walking or running. But when you get older, and you know more than I do because I don't know the numbers and the stats, but at some point your body has a harder time keeping the muscle, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. What's that number? When does it start going,
I don't know
going
that
downhill?
Number, but I'm younger than you, and I'm already there. I can tell you that for sure. So
I think it's like 30s-ish. I'm thinking 30s, 40s-ish. You start,
Someone told me like after 41, and I don't know why 41.
Right.
But
I could see that.
I don't know why it wouldn't be 40 or why you picked 41, but I'm 43.
Right.
So I'm honest. I have nothing to hide. I'm not a young chicken, but I'm not old either. I like my 40s.
Age is just a number.
Yeah.
So I am too.
I'm enjoying myself in this time of life.
I'm not 43. I'm not 43 too. I'm much older. 53. But I am too honest about it because I want women that are younger to know that you can do things to feel good.
Absolutely.
And to be your best and to age gracefully. And that's what we're talking about
today.
So
that's something that and not, we talk a lot about people wanting a long lifespan. You want to live a long time. Well, I don't want to live a long time if I'm not healthy.
There you go.
And I say this because my genetics are great.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother died at 103 and my
amazing.
grandfather died at 99. And so I know I'm probably, unless something, the good Lord takes me home sooner, please, that would be amazing. But I'm probably going to live a while. I don't want to live a while in the quality of life be not great.
Right.
I want to live and enjoy and be able to go and do and feel good and
I'm with you.
still, moving my body and I just
and be able to get on the ground and play with the grandkids.
With grandkids, yes, all the things. And
all
so
the things.
It just lifespan is not the same as health span.
Yes.
And health span meaning the number of quality years where you actually can enjoy yourself. That's something that's really important. But more on this topic is just there's a lot of women that feel like this is all there is to life and that we're going and doing and running a taxi service and dropping a kid and picking a kid up and taking another one and doing this and you're exhausted and you're fatigued and you're not sleeping well and maybe you have some mood issues and just probably call it what it is. You probably don't have a great libido, and so it doesn't have to be this way.
And that's the point of today.
Right.
It does not have to be this way.
Nope.
The brain fog.
It's huge.
The waking up in the middle of the night. I mean, we can, you know the symptoms. So ladies, if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, hold on, don't go anywhere. We're going to do quote of the day, and then we're going to talk about it as soon as that's a tease in our business here. So we do this little thing, and thank you for sharing your story today, Kara. I love this because I've known you for years, but I don't really, we've never really gotten.
You don't,
I don't know your story, and so I'm so grateful that you're here today. And so what we do is you're going to pick out a quote and tell me what this quote means to you.
Oh my, okay. Let's see. Okay, so it says, invent.
Okay.
Strive not to be a success, but rather be of value.
Ooh, that's a good quote. Tell me what that means to you.
So it actually kind of makes me think about something that I have on my email tagline, and it says, be a pioneer to change, and be part of something that lasts long after you're gone.
I love that.
Right? So I don't really care if I'm a success here on earth, right? But I want to make a difference in lives of other people that actually are meaningful and that mean something to them, and be a part of a cause that lasts after I'm gone.
I love
right?
that.
And so I don't know. I think
That's
that kind of fits right
That's
along
so
with that.
Perfect for you.
Because each day you may look at yourself and go, man, this day was rough.
Yeah.
This was not a success. But like overall, when people look back and say, wow, what impact did they have? What impact did she have on my life?
Right.
I want to be a part of something that brings changes, and I'm not afraid to. The people that know me know I will tell you what I think. I am pretty honest. I'm very vulnerable, and I have my story's pretty long, and as far as maybe another day, but people can't learn from your mistakes if you're not willing to share them.
That's a great
right?
point.
And
100%.
making a message out of your mess,
Yes.
if you will. You have to be willing to be vulnerable and honest.
Yeah.
Because we can all walk around and act like life is great when it is not.
There are terrible days.
There are terrible days, and it is.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would bet every person listening to this has some skeletons in their closet, or something that they have that's made them feel less than enough, or regrets and life choices that didn't lead them down the path that they thought they would go. And there's beauty, and there's beauty from the ashes. Right.
Yes.
And
that's why it's important to tell your story.
Right. And God
Yes.
can redeem a lot that maybe you didn't ever, my husband and I were talking about this the other day, and we have some amazing kids together. So he has 2 boys that are older. Mitchell, who has our first grandbaby. Him and his wife had our first little grandson in.
You see how her face lights up when you say grandchild?
It's the best. He was born in January,
awesome.
and he's just precious and the sweetest and the cutest. I'm biased, but he's the best. And they live in Meeker, Colorado. So they're northwest Colorado, which is very remote and hard to get to.
Yeah.
And then we have Mason, who has been married a couple of years, and he lives outside of Franklin, Tennessee.
Okay.
And we found out at Christmas they're pregnant.
Aww.
And they're having another boy for us. So we're going to have 2 grandsons in 2026. And
That's amazing.
I didn't birth these children. And I will tell you all day long, I have been not their mother. I am a second figure in their world. Their mother is actually, we are very good friends. We feel like we should go do a traveling show on how to be co-parents,
You
will.
You should.
Because there's so many people that make it about them. Like divorce it's a terrible thing. There's so much. It's from the brokenness of our world, right? And we know that the people that get the aftermath and the fallout from that, it goes ripples,
Yes,
generations.
absolutely.
And so
what's your best advice? I mean, you have a microphone. Let's share it, because I think that is an important topic.
And this
I understand.
I mean, when I said I'm going to be vulnerable and transparent, you're about to get the juiciest of the juiciest. But so Doug and I got married, and our exes dated each other, and our exes married each other.
Yeah.
Which some people think is the wildest, craziest thing, and never in a million years would I felt like I was going to marry someone and my ex-husband was going to marry his ex-wife. Wow. Okay.
But you make it work.
So
was it hard in the beginning?
In the beginning, it was very difficult. It was awful, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then our focus really became these 4 kids.
Yeah.
Right? And
love that.
Man, we poured into them, and there was never an event that there wasn't at least one of us at, because we had 4 parents, and we made the best of it. But man, there's not another person on this earth that knows what I've lived like her.
Right.
Right.
That's
It's
true.
a weird bond. It's interesting. People probably look at us, because we would sit in the stands, all 4 of us together, and people are like, what on earth is wrong with these people?
But what an example for your children, that you can do this, that you guys can come together for them,
right?
And
that
them,
it became that
doesn't happen all the time.
It doesn't.
Yes.
There's so many parents that use kids as pawns and make it about them, and all the. It's just sad, and that wasn't the case. And unfortunately, a couple of years ago, they went through a divorce, so they're no longer married. But my ex-husband and I are great friends, and I'm great friends with her, and it's
you're still being good co-parents.
Yes. But all that to say, we have older children.
Yeah.
I don't even remember where I was going with this.
Well,
What
you're going to
question
give us
did
the
you ask
best
me?
piece of advice for anyone that's going through, to be a good co-parent.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Because I think and this is, and I'm going to share, but after my father passed, my mom became best friends with my stepmom. They talk all the time, and they are very close through this.
Right.
And I love that they can nurture that relationship. Wish it could have happened earlier in life,
Right.
but it happened now, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
it can happen at any, like right now, even if you're not having a good co-parenting experience.
I would just
That's what I would say.
I
Give
would
your
say
best advice.
there's hope,
Yeah.
and really lean into the fact that these kids are what really matters.
Yeah.
They didn't ask for this. They didn't ask to be brought into it.
That's right.
And that's where I was going.
I love that. I love that.
The point of the matter, what I was going to say is, I've watched these children grow into resilient, amazing. Their perseverance is unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
All 4 of our big kids, if you will, because they lived kind of a rough world, right?
Right.
That it couldn't have been easy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, if you're in junior high and your friends are probably making fun of you that your parents' wife swapped or something. Like, think about what was being said. I can't imagine. But yet we've watched them become amazing, like our boys becoming amazing husbands and an amazing father, because they saw the brokenness of what they came from, and they're choosing to do completely different. And that to me is just, it's huge. It's just,
and that gives such good hope because I think a lot of people, we all do. We all worry, like, oh my goodness, what are we doing to our kids, right? Like you
Absolutely.
just always worry this, no matter what your situation is, whether you're married, divorced, single mom, single dad, whatever it is, that's all you worry about. It's like, am I ruining my child, right? I mean, I know I've thought it many years.
Right.
You're like, are we parenting this right?
And
so that does.
So that, I think that's where I was tying this in. I kind of got off topic, but leaving your mark, being a pioneer, and being okay with doing things differently.
Yeah.
The mainstream world is not going to say that it's normal for this situation, and these parents work together. And we went on vacation together to Cabo, Mexico.
That's great.
That's not normal, right? But like,
it's awesome.
So much of human nature and what we deal with on this earth is, this is the norm. And so if you're swimming upstream against that, it's hard. Yeah. And being willing to be somebody that pioneers to be different, right? Yes. To leave lasting impact, whatever that looks like, whatever area you're in.
I love that.
And so I see these big kids that have really had to go through a lot, right? But and then now, to add to the story, so my husband and I then, a couple of years after getting married, we were pregnant. And so Ella, our youngest, is now almost 10.
Aww.
So we have 27, 24, 23, 19, and 9 at the moment.
Oh my goodness. That's
and so
amazing.
But like in the midst of that, at one point I had high school, junior high, elementary, newborn, right? Like I had kids in every aspect of life, and I thought, wow, this is rough, and I didn't realize that it could be better. Right. I didn't realize, like, you just assume that what you're feeling is normal and that you're always going to be tired and this is how life is and that this is just as good as it's going to get. And I almost felt like I was just getting by. Right. You're almost like, you look down and you're like, wow, somebody's living my life, but I don't really remember living my life. I'm just kind of like waking up and going through motions every day.
Yeah, and I think every mom has felt that at some time.
Getting
by. You're just trying to get through the day and make sure these kids are fed.
And maybe like nap during the car line for 20 minutes if you can sit there for a second and regroup. And there's so much information that I don't feel like women have. The women in this age group. And I look back and man, things could have been really different for me at this time if I knew what I know now.
And so that's why we're going to talk about this statistic right here. You ready? We told you we're going to talk about women's health and hormones. And I think what you just said is a great lead in. Testosterone after childbirth drops 50% a year. A year. So think about that. That's why you're feeling the way you feel. It's not that anything is wrong with your life. Like, you think, oh gosh, it just must be me, right? Every woman, I think, has felt that way at some point. Like, it's just me. Something's wrong. Something's off. But
you just feel like you're just surviving. And we've had so many women explain it after, having some hormone replacement. They feel like the light switch was flipped back on, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Like they're just
like they're back.
I'm
back, baby.
I'm back, and with a vengeance, if you will. But yeah, I mean.
So how do you know? So what's the?
So
you mentioned, and you are, you are definitely not alone, having kids in all different ages, and you're running and you're falling asleep. I mean, I can tell you how many times I would have a teacher knock on the window because I was asleep in the carpool line.
Yes.
Right. And so I know exactly what you're talking about. How do you know? Like, what are the main symptoms that you go, okay, maybe I need hormone replacement or testosterone? So, I mean,
fatigue is a huge one. It's probably the biggest one. I would say number 2 is your libido.
Okay.
And we actually even say, I would say probably number 3 is, we say libido for life. That's kind of our coined term.
I like it. Libido for life.
It's your drive, your motivation. Yeah. Like you text and say, "Hey, let's go walk some, and then go have dinner." You're going, I don't want to go.
Right.
I would love to visit with Krista, but I don't have the energy to get off my couch. And
too tired.
I mean, I'm just being real.
Tired.
Sometimes, ladies, when you come in and your shoes come off, bra goes off, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
Like, I'm done. Sit down. Kids figure out dinner. Go make a bowl of cereal. I'm exhausted.
That's facts.
Right. And so we say, guys, even, oh, your friend says, hey, let's go golfing, and you're thinking, oh man, I don't want to do that. And this may be your favorite pastime, but you just don't have the desire to do things you used to enjoy doing because you just can't make yourself do it.
Right.
It's a matter of just a motivation for the things you enjoy. It's just not there. You're just blah, if you will. And so those. I mean, I would say a few more. Let me say this: brain fog is huge. Mm-hmm. It's huge, and you don't realize you have brain fog until you don't. Yeah. You just think this is aging, and you're like, oh wow, that actually isn't the case. Okay. I'm back, right? Yeah. Like, I'm not foggy anymore.
Or you start. Here's what I've noticed as I've gotten older, and I'm taking all the vitamins. I mean, I take every vitamin there is, but once I added creatine, we laugh because I'll remember names. Like my husband will say, oh, what was that person? Blah 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 blah, and I'll be like, boom, and he'll go, wow, that was creatine. Because you could ask me that 2 years ago, and I'd been like, let me think about it, or Google.
I'm not sure.
Let me Google that person's name, right?
Yeah.
You're just feeling better, right?
And so those are the main symptoms and signs that we see. Now, if you like, when I first started really digging into this, I was 37, so 6 years ago. So I was not perimenopausal at that point. Okay. I was still, just after
tired.
Childbirth. So for example, right, I had Caden when I was 19. Yeah. Well, women don't have near as much testosterone as men do to begin with, right? So if I'm losing that quickly,
50%
by
year,
my
after childbirth,
mid-20s,
yeah, none.
I'm like depleted. And so, and then, people don't understand that. Do you think testosterone, that's males?
Right.
Testosterone, men.
No, you're 100% correct. When I never even thought about it until I started reading about it.
Right.
That women have testosterone too.
Right.
And
men,
I didn't know it depleted 50% until you told me today.
And men have estradiol, just like we have estradiol. Now, do they have the
know
same
that?
levels? No.
Look at these fun facts.
Really?
Estradiol? They have estradiol?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So both sexes have both hormones, very significantly different amounts.
Okay.
But like for us, it's so where I was going with that is me being in my mid-20s, I wasn't perimenopausal yet, right? I'm just exhausted thinking this is what it's like to have 5 kids in all stages of life. Well, that was probably part of it, and I was running the medical practice, and I'm a wife and doing all the things, but man, it didn't have to be that way, because once we kind of got the hormones back in order, things changed. And so that's kind of the message that was just on my heart and super passionate about is so many women don't know, because they, after having babies, they just continue to see their OBGYN, which are amazing, and physicians are great. OBGYN physicians, they're amazing. But most of them are men. I'm
Right.
just going to call it what it is. And that's, and that's where, become more passionate about this, is because if they just say you're going to be fine, your levels look normal.
Right.
This is just, you're good. You look normal. Your levels on your labs look great.
You walk out of that office thinking, I don't feel normal.
I don't feel normal.
Yeah.
I don't feel normal. If this is normal, man.
Whew.
Right?
Yeah.
And and I guess kind of where there's a big difference, because if a man goes into a physician and says, man, some of my anatomy isn't working as great, and I'm maybe having some issues.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's fixed.
Boom.
Bam. They're getting a prescription. They're getting this. They're getting that, because men, it's we can take care of this, and we're gonna replace it, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna try this, and they're not okay with a man being having issues.
Right. Not functioning the way
they would like to, right?
So what's the difference? Why is it different than women?
That's what
it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
No.
It shouldn't be. And man, we just look, we sound like a broken record, because I can guarantee you most women are saying the same things.
Yeah.
And yet it's just, this is how it is.
Right.
That's what most people hear most of the time. And it doesn't have to be that way. And so that's what it's just a matter of, like, making women aware. Because I will tell you, the number of times I've had women sit across from my desk when I'm doing a consult going into some hormone replacement options, they are in tears.
Yeah.
Saying, I can look at a salad and gain weight, and I'm working out. And my husband can eat a whole pizza and lose weight. Yeah. And why? Our bodies are
different.
They're so different. Right. And it's, they may have been somebody that didn't even have to work out to lose weight prior to this. Yeah. But as your bodies change and your hormones change and things, it shifts. And so you cannot burn fat without testosterone. Yeah. It's almost impossible. Right. So of course men have more testosterone, so their fat burning potential is significantly more than ours. And then when we lose it after having children, you sit here and go, okay, well, of course you're gaining weight and you can't get rid of that midsection, because it's just that people, well, that's just how it is.
I used to call them my baby trophies.
Yes.
I'd be like, I got a baby trophy here, baby trophy here.
Yes.
Right?
And you know what? I'm not saying that that's bad. Yeah. Because, man, I take my battle, their wounds and their battle scars, and I love it, right?
For those babies, I would do it
all day long.
You don't have to have the after effects for
right, and you don't have to feel that way, right?
So,
but I've had these women in tears thinking, I felt like I was the problem all along, when I'm fighting an uphill battle that's almost impossible to fight on my own. Right. Right? Like,
absolutely.
And so, there's, just like with everything you see, there's clinics and places that do certain things, and they may not specialize in it. They may do it for the wrong reasons, or they may say, oh, we'll treat your hormones, but we're going to give you some testosterone and then send you on your way. It's very different when you're, like, we're family medicine, so we're treating people's diabetes, cholesterol, heart disease, thyroid, anxiety, depression, ADHD, all the normal things that go along with it. They all play a role, because when you're dealing with hormones, you want to look at the endocrine system as a whole, which I'm no expert in, but I do know there's certain things that you really want to manage, and you want to do it all at the same time and really focus. And it doesn't do any good to have this doctor over here doing this and this person over here doing this, and nobody really looking at the full picture and working together, right? It's there's so many puzzle pieces that once they fit, but you kind of have to have a full body approach, if you will. Right. And that's one of the things that we kind of like to focus on and really pride ourselves on, is that we're looking at, number one, we're looking at your mental health. Number two, we're looking at your physical health, and we're really looking at how it all works together. But treating hormones, like we're looking at testosterone for women, and it's just huge. And when I say getting your levels back to appropriate, we're not wanting our levels anywhere near what a man's are. Right. I don't want a deep voice. I don't want to grow chest hair. No, that's not the goal. No, I want to be normal. I want to have energy. I want to feel good. I want, and so there's so many, there's myths around this therapy, and there's myths, say, oh, hormones cause cancer. Well, the studies that showed that were synthetic hormones, like not what we replace is called bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, meaning.
And so what does that look like? What does that entail?
Bioidentical.
Is it a shot? Is it a patch? Is it?
So it's a pellet.
A pellet? Okay.
Yep. So bioidentical means it is the exact same molecule that your body makes.
Okay.
So it is not synthetic.
You're just replacing something
your body is already making,
okay.
or maybe has stopped making because we're in this position of life.
Right.
But so you're replacing what you previously had. So some of the studies that kind of skew that train of thought were it's synthetic drugs. They're looking at estrogen, not estradiol, which is what our body makes. There was the Women's Health Initiative and some of these studies that showed that there was, and so there's all this, area around, well, hormones cause cancer. Well, actually, no. Not synthetic hormones, probably. I'm not going to say yes. I don't know. That's not my area of expertise, but bioidentical, no. And I can tell you that even when you add bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, it reduces your risk of invasive breast cancer by 30%.
That's huge.
That alone, I would do this for.
And what are some of the myths? You mentioned that it could cause cancer. That's one myth. What are some of the other myths that you hear that when people come in, they're like, well, I don't want to do that because of.
So a lot of people will say, so we prefer the pellet method, and they're about the size of a grain of rice, depending on how many you're getting, and it's minimally invasive. So numbing with lidocaine, making a small incision, no stitches even needed, just steri strips, and putting pellets in, and then they last between 3 and 4 months for women. Okay, so you do this 3 or 4 times a year. You might feel like you got bruised. It's going in the upper glute area.
Okay.
We're looking for fat. That's where women tend to carry fat. We have some fat there,
yep,
right?
That's
where it goes.
That's where, let's be honest. That's
men,
where it goes.
no. After men age, they kind of lose that part of their bodies.
So men get it.
So for men, it goes in their love handle in the back.
Notice how I pointed here? Yeah. So they go there.
Kind of in the back area.
Okay.
Because even our fittest triathlete men have some fat there.
Okay.
That's just where you carry it. It's just
you're right.
An example of
where we carry it a little lower.
Where men and women are just different. And
yes.
So when we're looking at the pellet method, people would say, well, I can't manage those levels. Well, no, you can't go in and dig this out, but it's a very scientific formula that is used. So we use a pellet called a Vexapel, which is made by a company called Avexius Health Solutions out of Richardson near Dallas, and amazing company, a female-founded company.
Yay.
Okay, she's a doctor of nurse practitioner, Terry Denai, and she's phenomenal. She's amazing, and and her husband. It's kind of the opposite of me and my husband. Her husband's the business side, and she's the medical provider. But I mean, they have grown. They're huge. They just had their most recent training class of over 700 practitioners.
Wow.
So they're like nationwide, but it's proven, it's effective, it works. But some people say, well, I can't manage. What if it gets too high?
Yeah.
So
how do you monitor that?
So there's a lot of monitoring that goes into it, and that was my point earlier. Is that there's some places that will give you testosterone and then send you on your way,
right.
And that's not what you want.
Okay.
Right. So we look at. I kind of like to explain it like a plateau, in that we're not trying to shoot you to the top of a mountaintop. You don't want to be up there. We don't want to be that high. I don't want to be there. I want to be right in my optimal levels and stay there. And so, you use your labs, and it's really important to have lab work to look at your numbers to see, okay, well, you're perimenopausal, your estradiol is dropping, your FSH, all these changes are happening.
That's number one. Get the blood work done.
The blood work is huge because you really need, and then it's individualized to you. Mm-hmm. So like another 43-year-old woman that weighs the same as me is going to potentially have a very different dose than me.
Yeah, because let's
we're
be
different.
Honest, the insides are all different. We've got genetics, we've got a history, we've got how we treat our body. Yes.
So we honestly will err on the side of caution the first time and actually drop the dose a little bit lower, because we don't want to overdo it. But you can always add more. So you do. You get your pellets, and then at 4 weeks, we actually have you come back in and get more lab work, because we want to see where your levels are at that 4 week, because that's where we think that plateauing is happening. Okay. Where you're leveling off to the number where we would want you to be. And so, for example, no, it doesn't take 4 weeks to feel results. Typically, women notice changes within 7 to 10 days. They're feeling better. but it's still climbing for 4 weeks. So at 4 weeks, we want to get numbers and see, and then you come back in for a follow-up at 5 weeks to actually sit down with a provider, and we compare your pre-pellet, like there's a kind of a survey, your markers, you're answering questions about how you sleep, what's your mood like, how is your libido, what is your, are you having night sweats, are you not, like there's just so many questions that we ask.
Are you having anxiety? Because I think that's another
a big
one.
one. The brain fog, anxiety, there's a lot going on, and so we ask a full, and then we ask those same questions at 5 weeks, and compare. And it's crazy to see the results. People don't even, wow, that is changed. But occasionally,
what's the number one thing you hear after? Like, what does someone say after when they've been taking?
So most people are like, wow, I didn't realize how exhausted I was until now I'm not. Right? They're just like,
they just feel better.
I just feel better. And but also like the libido is a big one. And I don't know if you know the two biggest arguments in a marriage: sex and money.
Yes.
That's
true.
That is, and so if we can fix one of those, maybe.
Yes.
Hey, I can't help with money, but
and there are, I'm sure there are a lot of studies there, but there are a lot of unscientific studies. But just for example, men want to have sex more than women in most relationships. That is the dynamic.
Sorry,
I'm gonna out my husband here, but I asked him one time, how many times do you think men? And he said, guarantee 22 days out of the month they are, if not more, they're thinking about it. Women, what do you think? They without any hormone. Maybe
I would say one or two times a month, and they're probably good.
Again, this is a very unscientific study that we
this is what you hear from most women on a daily basis.
From most women,
right? And
so there's some women. There is a difference.
There's a big difference, and there's some women that will say, "I could do without it for the rest of my life right now.
Just fine.
I'd be fine."
Right.
But they also know that
it cause tension.
It can cause problems, and so it's a matter of.
Do you remember the book "Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus"?
Yes.
I'm aging myself here. It was real popular, like in the 80s,
I
90s.
Remember it. I actually went back and read it.
Yes,
but
it's true. There is a difference,
and so there's a huge difference, and so those are the things that most women will end up saying. They're what they notice is the libido and the energy levels, and
now the money talk you'll have to fix yourself.
Yeah, I can't help with that one. But
Kara's like, you're on your own there.
You're on your own,
but we can help you with the other.
Yes, and it's been so fun because we've been doing this now 6 years, so we've had thousands of patients and data on this, and to see a husband and wife come in their 60s, they're retired, they have money, they have time,
living their best life.
And like they weren't in the beginning, and now they are like loving life, and they're going and doing and taking grandkids on vacations and not exhausted, and they're happy, and they're having probably some of the best sex of their lives. Right. It's so fun to see changes.
There's no one in their house anymore.
Right. And so it's so it's refreshing. It's refreshing to it's just neat to see results like that, and it's heartbreaking to see results when women come in and feel like it's their fault.
Right.
Because they haven't been informed.
I love that, and I think that's a great message to say today is that what you're feeling is normal. And there is an answer.
It doesn't have to be normal, but it's normal to feel this way. But
it is normal, and it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay, and there's hope. And what I tell women is like, the amount of hope I have looking at your numbers mean you're going to feel so much better.
Yeah.
So at 5 weeks they come back in and they review the numbers and the data and say it didn't improve enough. Mm-hmm. We would do what we call a boost at 5 weeks and give them a little bit more, and that way it gets them kind of where we want them, but we didn't overdo it in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So we would rather undershoot than overshoot.
Right.
If you will, or we don't want to be too high, and then say. It's interesting how this works, but the more cardiovascularly active you are, so those that work out and getting their heart rate up multiple times a day or multiple times a week at least, they burn it faster, because the way that the body starts getting the benefits of the hormones is when you get your heart rate up. So the more often you're moving and going and doing, the sooner you need it.
So it's important to keep. Yeah, to make sure you're still working out. Just because you're taking this doesn't mean you can be like, hey, now I don't have to lift.
Right. No, but basically it just means that you're going to burn it faster than our 70-year-old women that come in and maybe, play golf once a week or just enjoying life,
right.
they can probably go 4 months because they're not burning it as quickly as women that are active are.
Okay, so the more active you are,
the sooner
you're going to burn it more.
Yeah.
You need to take more.
Yeah.
I have a question because,
Sure.
and I'm not on anything except for a lot of vitamins. I take a lot of vitamins. So I've never taken testosterone.
Right.
I'm scared, not scared of needles, but I'm scared of the whole, putting the pellet in. Like, to me,
Right.
that sounds a little,
So it sounds,
it's a little scary, but I want you to talk it through a little bit.
It sounds invasive and
yeah.
horrible. It's about a 2-minute procedure.
That's it.
Maybe that's it.
2 minutes.
So the provider numbs you with lidocaine. That's all you feel is like
It's
the
the
numbing.
lidocaine.
Is the numbing part. It's a little sting, pinching, burning for
Yeah.
like 30 seconds, maybe.
Okay.
Just a little uncomfortable. That's it.
Are there other ways to get it?
So there,
because I've heard of creams.
there's creams and there's
pill.
pills and
Okay.
they call them troches. I don't know exactly. TROCHE. I don't know exactly
Okay.
how you say it, but there's different formats.
Okay.
But it is not bioidentical.
So is that synthetic?
Yes.
Okay, so there's the difference.
There's the difference.
Oh,
So
okay.
creams and pills, those are going to be synthetic testosterone, not with what your body is making.
Okay, so that's the difference.
And so, like
Okay.
when you're dealing with men, like a lot of men want to microdose depotestosterone or testosterone cypionate in shots.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not bioidentical; those are synthetic.
Okay.
So there's a difference in the type of testosterone you're getting.
So a shot is different than a pellet.
Yes,
100%.
So shots,
different.
most
Okay.
men will come in once a week and do a shot once a week.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting an intramuscular injection once a week. That's
Okay.
not fun, I'll be honest, but I'd rather have a pellet once every couple months and be done
And
with
then
it.
you're done. You don't
Right.
think about
and,
it. Okay.
But and a factor in this is cost. Like, this costs more than getting a shot does. I mean, it does cost
Okay.
more, but
Wait, don't go anywhere, sweetie. We're going to talk peptides in a minute. Okay.
yeah. So it's one of those areas where you have to outweigh. Like, if you need something and you can't afford the pellets,
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to make somebody who's not going to have to choose between feeding their children or getting pellets, right?
Right,
Like, if
right.
a shot makes sense for them or a pill makes sense for them, it's better than nothing.
You have to do what's best for you.
You got to do what's best for
I
you.
think
But
that's
if
important
you're
to say.
looking at some of the side benefits
Mm-hmm.
of the reduction in breast cancer risk, the abilities to help with brain fog, those are more with your bioidentical compared to your synthetics.
These are some strong benefits. Okay, peptides. I hear it all the time, and Al just walked out the door, but so I can't ask him his question. When he comes back, he can ask it. But I don't know what a peptide is. I have no idea. I hear him say it all the time because he listens to Joe Rogan and all these podcasts. All the things. What is a peptide? Oh, wait, and I'm sitting here today with Kara Cochran, office manager for Evangelion Medical, and that is a practice that she has with her husband, Dr. Doug Cochran. And they are focusing on family practice and your health for longevity. Right. Okay.
Right. And so I'm going to go back just for a second
Yes.
because I don't want to forget this part. When we're managing and looking at testosterone, of course, when women are perimenopausal, we're going to look at their estradiol.
Okay.
And you can also replace estradiol in the pellet form.
Okay, so you can do a pellet, you can do a cream, you can do a pill, but the pellet is the most natural form.
It's what your body makes.
It's what, okay.
So we're replacing what you made.
Okay.
So when we do that, we also look at a couple other things because it's important to do it together. So you were just talking about vitamins. Okay,
Yes.
vitamin D3.
Mm-hmm.
It's a vitamin, but it actually acts as a hormone within the body. And most people don't know that.
Did not know that.
So
I
but
just keep hearing take D3, so I
so
have
you
it on
do.
my counter. I take
But
it.
you may not be taking it in the dosages that's necessary if you're going to replace hormones.
Okay.
So I explain it like this. It helps it bind, but to dumb it down to just normal people talk, this is the gas in the tank of your car.
Okay.
So you're getting testosterone or an estradiol or whatever you are getting.
Yes.
Testosterone for men only, but vitamin D3 is the gas in this vehicle to get it where it needs to go. So
Okay.
vitamin D3 levels, most people come in their 20s. We want it between 60 and 80.
Okay.
So in order to get it there, most people need to take a pretty high amount of IUs daily, between 5 and 10,000 IUs. And a lot of times when you go to the grocery store or Walgreens or wherever you might get stuff, it's like 2,000 IUs.
And how much do we need again?
Between 5 and 10,
5 and 10. Now I gotta
between
go look at my IUs. I didn't
depending
even-
on where
Yeah.
you're at. But if you're going to replace your hormones, it's very important to have your vitamin D3 levels where they should be.
which is up higher,
between 60 and 80.
Okay.
And so that's another, if you're not doing that, you're kind of not, all the pieces, they fit together.
Right.
And we address thyroid and look at thyroid function and make sure you're not going to find a woman that ever turns down thyroid medication.
Really?
Ever. Because most women are like, yes, I want more energy. I want more weight loss capacity. I want a higher metabolism. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Most women are like,
Sign
sign me up. I'm there, right?
Yeah,
right?
Everybody's like, yeah, I'm a
Me
guy
too.
and I want it. Yeah.
But those things work together. It's another hormone that we're looking at that's part of the endocrine system. So when you do this full picture, that's when you have your best results.
Okay.
It's kind of like
And that's why you have to get tested
to know where your levels are and see where you're at.
My
and
husband preaches this all the time. He's like, you gotta know where you're starting.
Right, exactly. So we get baseline information, and then leading into your, like, say you're due for your next round of pellets, we're going to get labs again and see where you've dropped to. Okay. So then we know.
So you're not just on your own. Once
you're not on your own, and
it's
it's a follow up, a tweak. It's personalized to you, and everybody's different.
Yeah,
everybody.
I think that's key. Those people forget to go get
tested again. I think
it's
you're
huge.
Right.
And
how many times per year should you get?
Yes.
So
no, that's a good question. How many times per year should you get your levels tested?
So if you're doing hormone replacement therapy, we're checking this in the beginning. Like I said, you're getting your levels before we start. Then we're getting your levels at 4 weeks. And then we're getting it about a week before your next round, which for women would be 3 to 4 months is when your next round would be. And males go about 5 months. Okay. So in that range, we're getting labs again. Then typically we're getting it every 3 to 6 months, depending on, not usually 3 months, but like most of these people are in our practice for other reasons. They're having, we're checking their A1C, we're checking their cholesterol, we're checking other things as well. So we stay on top of it. And in men doing it as well, PSA is super important, looking at, prostate cancer risk and that kind of stuff. But it's key to have the data to know, because the follow-up is important, and you have to know where your numbers are.
Right. You can't just go on how you feel.
Right.
I mean, you have to have the data.
Do. It's like they work together. Yes, we're going to listen to how you feel, because symptoms are a big piece of this.
Yeah.
And we're going to treat how you feel. Yeah. Numbers are important too, because we're not going to do harm. We're not going to put you super duper duper high. That we don't want that. So we need to make sure you're within where you should be. But we want you to be in optimal levels.
Right.
Not just normal.
Okay.
Because you may go to another place and they look at your thyroid and say, that's normal.
Right.
And we're going to say, that's not optimal. Let's optimize this. You're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. You're going to be able to burn more fat. Like, why would we not?
Right. Let's not just be in range. Let's also feel good.
Optimal.
And be optimal.
Right.
Okay, what is a peptide? Do I have one? just men? I don't know what a peptide is.
So it's
what
just
is,
small.
What is this buzzword I keep hearing?
Okay, it's just small. I would say they're small chains of amino acids, if you will.
Okay.
So we all have peptides.
Okay, so men, women, everyone.
So
everyone has a peptide.
Insulin.
Okay.
It's a peptide.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so everything you've heard about with our body makes that, obviously. We're not diabetics were replacing that peptide when they need insulin, right? They're needing it.
So
Most people
are GLPs
GLP-1s are a peptide.
Oh.
Absolutely. So tirzepatide, semaglutide, Mounjaro, Ozempic, all of those.
I've never heard it referred to as a peptide.
Most people don't.
Okay.
It's a peptide.
See, you learn something new every day.
So those are peptides. And so it's just become, it's a way to just really personalize what you're wanting in your health and trying to prevent certain diseases, or I would say it's more on the people that are really wanting to be aggressive at preventative medicine.
Okay,
if you will.
right.
So,
that are trying to be, and I think, and I love that, because I want to talk preventative medicine here in a second. Is NAD plus? Is that? We love NAD plus.
Yeah, so
that's a great peptide.
Yes. So see, you knew peptides.
See,
you
I didn't realize.
I just
didn't know it. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, because you hear these buzzwords that you know in the community. If you're not in the medical community like you are, you're
like,
you're just
you just hear words.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, what does that mean? What is a GLP?
Well, and there's so many out there for so many different things.
Yes.
And here's where this can get sticky, if you will. So in 2023, they moved a number of peptides off of the Category 1 list down to the Category 2 list, which means reputable compounding pharmacies that are accredited, that check for the efficacy or the potency, if you will, of these peptides. They are not allowed to compound certain ones.
And by compound, do you mean combine them with another one, or just make it?
Just making it.
Just make it. Okay.
So they're not able to do that because it was moved from a category 1 to a category 2, and there are not. I think 19 of them were moved to category 2 in 2023. So on February 27th. RFK on the Joe Rogan podcast said that his goal is to move 14 of those 19 back to category 1 in the next few months. And so it's ramping these. But this is where it gets sticky. These were still available, but they were available for research use only, which means it says on these web pages as big as day, it says not for human consumption, for research purposes only.
So you're like, but people were taking
But
them.
They're buying them off the internet, buying them off TikTok, buying them who knows where, and nobody knows what they're putting in their body. Right. So it didn't.
That's scary.
It's scary. It didn't do away with the fact that people were using them. They just started to get them on the black market, if you will, right? I mean, and that was what RFK's point was, is that these have a place. There's proven. There's many of them that have multiple studies and they're proven benefit. They need to be within some parameters and guidelines and be made by a reputable pharmacy that is, being watched, right? And
make sure you know where
you're getting your peptides and what is in them and who is making it, right? And because that is scary.
That is scary.
It's really scary.
But they are going to get moved back.
So that's what
moving, which I guess the good part is now they will be more widely available,
right?
From pharmacists.
Well, so in most of these they're gonna require prescription.
Okay.
So meaning you're gonna have to have your medical provider write a prescription for this, and then a pharmacy that is reputable will be able to fill it for you.
Okay.
Right. So typically, there's compounding pharmacies, and the provider says, "This is who we work with. This is who we trust. This is who we recommend, and this is why we're, And we've had patients come in and ask for certain peptides, and we are like, we can't give you. We're not going to put our seal of approval on that because we don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
We have no idea. And until we know where it comes from and know that it's being tested and know that it's a pure product, it's really scary.
That is scary.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but it by moving these back onto that list, it's just going to make it more regulated, if you will.
Right.
So that you know that you're getting the product that you need. But there's some super benefits to these peptides, and multiple different ones. Like a big one for women in aesthetics is GHKCU, and that's copper. You hear the copper peptide. It deals with like wrinkles and the plumpness.
Oh,
and
wait,
building
what was
more
that?
collagen.
Let me write that one down again.
Right?
Wrinkles. Wait, what's it called?
GHKCU.
GHKCU. I need some GHKCU there, Kara.
So a lot of them, they'll combine that with maybe another peptide, and they'll call it a stack. This is the buzzwords.
Yes, stack.
What's your stack?
I've heard of habit stack. If you've read Atomic Habits, you've heard this book over here.
Right.
You've heard of habit stacking, so we can do
there's peptide
stacking.
And so that's
No
what,
idea.
if you were to go online and look for a company that has for research use only, there's so many different well, you don't really know what you're needing. If you know what you're needing it for, but like, how do you choose?
Yeah. Can you here's a question. Can you over vitamin and over peptide? Can you take
I'm not a medical provider,
things?
but
Right.
I would say absolutely.
Okay.
Because some of them do very similar things. So there's really, so
you have to monitor it.
It needs to be monitored. And that's kind of the whole point on this is there's great benefits. They have some amazing, they work.
Right.
They work great. But you really need a prescription, and you really need to have it monitored, and you really need to make sure you're taking what you should be taking to really give you the benefit of what you're wanting. Because somebody with, chronic back pain could benefit from something that's really going to help with inflammation and muscles and joint pain. But that's going to be different than somebody with an acute injury. It's going to be dosed differently. It's going to be done differently. It's going to be, there's just a lot of maybe the same peptide, but done differently based on what your injury is.
Another thing really quick. Thank you for talking about that. Sorry, I'm now going into quick mode because I want to get you out on time.
Right. No, you're good.
You mentioned something earlier. If you're recovering from a surgery or something, there's something you can take
BPC 157.
BPC 150. What is BPC 157? Never heard of it.
So it's a peptide.
Okay.
And it's one of the ones on that list that is
coming back.
Okay. And it's typically combined with TB 500. They call that the Wolverine stack. And there's a lot of people taking it for chronic issues. A lot of people. It just helps. It helps. tissue repair, recovery after muscle exertion. So you'll see a lot of people lifting weights that want to take BPC 157 to help recover.
So it helps with the tear.
It helps with yes, and like so if we know if someone is post surgical, or they're going in for a knee replacement, or they're going in for a knee surgery, or they're going in for a shoulder surgery, we would recommend this when we can, like prior to
known about
like a week or two prior to, maybe even a month prior to surgery, and then a couple months through and after, because helping your body like heal, if you will.
Can I take it now? So I had for those of you, some of you know, but I had ACL and double meniscus 3 years ago. Can't believe it's been 3 years already. Can you take it 3 years later and it can still help? Or
I don't know.
No? Okay.
I'm not sure, but I know that it helps in certain aspects. I don't know if it would help on like an acute injury.
So it helps more when you're about to go through.
But I do know that, I mean, like I'm disclaimer, I am no expert on certain.
You just know personally.
I know personally.
It'll also help you with recovery.
That's what I was gonna say. Like recovery, as far as like when you're lifting, or you're lifting heavy, or doing CrossFit, or you're running lots of miles, or you're doing like, but the dosages would be different if you're doing it for acute injury versus
So if we would
something
have
like
taken
that.
Saturday after sculpt, we wouldn't have been hurting so bad on Tuesday.
Really? Oh man, why didn't I talk to you before we did sculpt class?
but
man, that is hard, by the way. If you have a young person in your life and they want to take you to sculpt class, go do it. You will have fond respect for them. I mean, it was like yoga.
Where did you go?
In Lubbock,
Okay.
Z Sculpt. It was amazing. It was our daughter's birthday party, and she turned 22, and so we did it with all of her friends, and it was so much fun. But I have to say, they were not sore the next couple of days, and my husband and I have been sore for 3 days. But we're good now. But if we would have known, BPC 157 would have been my friend.
And so, and there's some other ones, and that's obviously this is one that is on that list that we can't really get right now. But
where are we at now? Okay, I've got you for 7 minutes. So I've got to ask you a series of questions real quick that we call favorite things.
Okay.
And then we're going to wrap things up.
All right.
Okay, so this is first thing that pops in your head as soon as you say it. Favorite life hack, something that makes your life easier.
Okay, it's probably a guilty habit, but I get my groceries delivered.
Oh, I do too.
Okay.
This is a new thing for me, though, and I love it. It's one of my favorites.
I don't have to think. I order, and you know what?
Yes.
I spend less money because I don't go browse.
Yes.
I put in exactly what I need for my meal prepping, exactly what I need for my meal planning, exactly what I need for my kids' lunches or whatever, and then I don't go and look and buy more.
I am team shop. Yes, like, get your groceries delivered now.
It saves a lot of time, and like time is we only have so much.
Time's precious.
It is precious.
Okay, favorite restaurant in West Texas.
Oh, man, it's hard not to say Cowboy Prime.
Oh yes,
I mean it's
so good,
but we don't go there that often because I mean it's kind of on special occasions.
Yeah, special occasions.
Special occasions.
Yes, but really good. Their Caesar salad is so good, and their bread.
I like their filet salad, filet noodle salad.
Is it good? I haven't tried.
It's really good.
Okay,
it's really good.
Yep, there you go, Cowboy Prime. Favorite coffee shop.
Okay, you're gonna laugh. I make my coffee at home every morning. I'm cheap.
So Al is too.
I am. So
he's like, I just want to make it at home.
I do.
I like that. I like coffee shops for when I'm going to go and visit with a friend and enjoy. And we have some great ones.
I like.
But on the daily, you're making it at home.
I am. I'm making it at home. I would say, like, as far as the vibe goes, or I would typically pick something that is local and smaller.
Yes. We got Far West Cafe.
Yes, I was going to say probably typically Far West, but like I said, my day starts early and I drop kids and then I'm at the clinic, and once I get there, I usually don't leave.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I would take the coffee to go.
I make it at home, and I mean I like nice things, but I'm cheap on other things. I'm like $7. I'll make it.
I know.
I'll make it at home.
I know. Special occasions.
Yes.
Only on special occasions at a coffee shop. Okay. Favorite book.
Oh man. Let me think. That means I would have had to have read recently. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm with you. It's hard.
I really like the book Captivating.
Okay, I haven't heard that one.
So there's like Wild at Heart.
See, I love asking this question because I get new books. Captivating. Okay.
Yeah, it's the women's take on Wild at Heart.
Okay.
Just in like, yeah. You can read it.
I love it. Okay. Favorite fun fact about you we would not know after listening to this podcast, or if we were reading your bio.
Ooh. Let's see. Fun fact. I've done one marathon and that will be it.
I love that.
Let's see. No,
Where was it? Where'd you do it?
Okay, here's what's crazy. So my husband has done the New York Marathon
Oh
quite
my
a few times, like
goodness.
4 times, and he was signed up for 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And well, of course, they said, okay, this is going to be virtual. So a virtual marathon. What in the world is that?
Right. You just
But
go
you
run
just
around
you have
town
to
and
have your wear
okay.
your devices and make sure that you have the distance. And
Yeah.
so he said, well, sign up, do it with me. So I thought, okay, why not? It's COVID. I have some extra time.
Yeah.
So I started training, and I trained, and we ran this thing around Midland, the 2 of us by ourselves.
How fun!
No, it was terrible. It was awful. I mean, the beginning was fine, but like when you hit that wall that you
Yeah,
don't
what
go,
wall was it?
It's
What was
20,
it? What-
20
20
miles.
was
That's
it?
the most
20
I
was the
went.
wall.
Was 20 but it was also, we were running around Midland. Like we had to like have our friends set out waters, had to stop at my ex-husband's house to go to the bathroom. Like you're having to just make it,
Be creative.
jump over
There's
rattlesnakes.
no route.
Right? There's no
Yeah.
route. It was awful. It was so bad. And everybody that's actually done these before told me like, you get like this extra energy from the crowd and
Right,
like right?
But you had no crowd.
We had none. Like our
Oh,
kids and our
man.
parents came and like made a little sign and like met us at one point, and
But I'm
that
so
was
proud of
sweet.
you for doing
but it was
it.
terrible. I will, and he keeps telling me you need to do it again. I was like, nope, forget
Nope,
it.
I'm good.
I'm good.
One and done.
I'm good.
One and done.
I would say another thing about me. So I'm a fundraiser. I've fundraised quite a bit of money for America's first and only nickel refinery.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah,
there you go. 2 great fun facts.
Westwind Elements. You should look it up. It's
That's
great.
wonderful. Okay, we will. Say it again one more time.
Westwind Elements.
Westwind Elements.
There's
Okay,
a lot
we'll
of
look it up.
a lot of Midlanders are invested in this, and it's really neat.
Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
look it up. Well,
It's
thank
really
you for
cool.
sharing that. Okay, we're coming to the end because we got to get you to an Easter party.
Yes.
Tell me, is there anything coming in today? And thank you for this conversation, first of all.
Sure.
This has been so much fun.
It's fun, but-
I have loved I feel like we could talk probably 3 more hours easily.
For sure.
But we're gonna have you back. You're gonna bring your husband. We're gonna talk men's health.
Yep.
Correct? Okay. We'll do that at a future date. But is there anything coming into today that you were like, oh, I hope I get this out, and maybe it hasn't come up in our very natural conversation that you're like, boom, I want to drop this.
Let's see. Okay, this is a pointer for men.
Okay.
Okay, so when we're talking about all this and women and our bodies changing, and as you go through, these times in your world and having babies and all of that, it's just the fact that men, a lot of times, they're at this point where they take it personally, like the lack of libido by the woman, right? The woman
yeah.
doesn't have this, and the men takes this personally, thinking that they're the problem,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Well, maybe they are sometimes. I don't know, right?
Right.
But most of the time, it's the body and the hormones and the things that the woman doesn't even realize that can be changed, right?
Yes.
But yet, then you have a male over here that's his feelings are hurt, or he doesn't feel
Yes.
adequate, and then he doesn't feel enough about himself, and it's just this disconnect because nobody's talking about it,
Right.
right? And so
let's talk about it.
so
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yes.
So it's not the male's fault. It's not them specifically. It's
Yeah.
it's the woman and what else changing with them and their bodies. And I also make this point, like women are not microwaves. We are crock pots. You have to turn us on in the morning, and it has to be slow and steady. And you can't. It's just very different.
Right.
A lot of women, it's mental.
I'm going to remember that one
it is
forever.
It isn't.
Women are not microwaves. We are crock pots. Yes, that's
It's
great.
real. I mean, help with the kids
That's
in the
true,
morning,
yeah.
do the dishes, help do this.
Yeah.
That makes the difference. Women are very mental, and we get in
Yes.
our own heads. And so that's my pointer. Women are
advice.
not microwaves. We are crock pots. You got to let us have some time to heat up.
Let us simmer. All
Yeah.
right. Good advice.
So,
Thank you so much,
you're
Kara. I
welcome.
appreciate this time. And if you want more information on peptides, hormones, all the things women's health that we talked about today, remember, you are normal. This is normal what you're going through, but the feelings don't have to be there. You don't
Right.
have to be tired all the time. You don't have to have brain fog. There is help out there. You can go and ask more questions at Evangelion Medical and see Dr. Doug Cochran. Thank you, Kara.
You're
I really
welcome.
enjoyed
Thank you
this
for having
time.
me. I've
And
enjoyed it.
Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to them. They will be happy to have a consult with you, or you can drop them down below and I'll ask Kara for you. Okay, thank you so much. And remember, well, first of all, thank you to our sponsors. We appreciate each and every one of you. I will drop them down below because I know we're out of time. But remember my mottos: dream big, believe, and never give up. We are all in this together. We want you to live your best life, and you can do it. Thanks so much for joining us. You make it a great day.